What's the next segment?
Football.
Close enough.
Welcome to episode 2, Nigel Smarts, number 77 of Here We Grow. I'm Dan. Welcome, Lauren.
Was that
Hi.
7 Tregenzas?
Oh, sure. I've got a story about him later. Welcome, Lauren. Welcome, Ben.
Thanks, Dan.
Welcome, Sam.
I get my own separate one. Hello, Dan.
Well, I did Lauren, but then Ben cut her off.
Oh, righto. Yep.
Yeah.
I said hi. It's
Ben
fine.
just wanted to make it all about
Ben's
him.
fine. He can go ahead.
Doesn't want to host, but wants to be the main
Yeah,
star.
centre of attention is my goal.
Tell us about the number 77. What have you got for us?
Okay, so debut player. Been in the news a bit more if we'd recorded last week, but it is Simon Goodwin.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. He's flogging off his grand final Guernseys for a bit of extra cash.
He doesn't need any more media attention.
Yeah, still loves the club. 1997 to 2010, 275 games, 2 premierships within his first 25 games.
What?
Captain
That's nuts,
from
isn't it?
08 to 10, and he retired the same year as McLeod, Burton and Henschel. So that was a fair old drop-off at the end of that year.
Square of glory.
He played long enough that I can look for some 77 stats. In 1999, he had 77 handballs, and over his career, he had 77 marks against the Bulldogs.
Whoa.
Look at you go.
So there you go.
Just 77 marks just against the Bulldogs.
Just against the Bulldogs, and I'm
in
sure
one game?
I'm sure a lot of them were in those 2 prelims against them as well. So, yes. So then we have beaten a team by 77 points. That was North back in 2015. It was quite an occasion. That was Walker's first game as captain, where he kicked 6 goals, and Walsh's first game as coach.
Aw.
So, yep.
Aw.
And yeah, sorry to bring it down.
You're good at
and-
that in these.
Classic Ben move.
Yeah, I know.
well, I'll lift it back up
Lift
a
it
tiny
up.
bit. So Bickley kicked 77 goals
Oh,
over his career.
I wouldn't have thought that.
X.
So that's my 77.
And 77 elbows to Darryl Wakelin. Shane Wakelin, or whatever Wakelin it was.
Can't remember. One of them.
His elbow was in the shape of a 7 when he... Ooh. Anyway, we've got a big show for you tonight. When I say big, it's not that big. The Crows lost this week.
When you say big, we're not really sure what's how it's going to go.
We'll see how it pans out. But the Crows girls lost this week by 2 points to their bogey side, Brisbane, which means we now have a sudden death final this Saturday night against the Sydney Swans, who we've never played ever. So
That's so random.
we'll
yeah,
talk
that's
about
so
that.
weird to play a team in the finals that you've never played before.
Fixture.
I like
Strange.
it.
Interesting fixture. But hopefully we have a 100% record of playing against them after this week. And we'll also talk a little bit about Gather Round, which has dropped. There's some headline news from that. There's also big headlines that Chris Burgess has landed at the club. The men's. Big headlines.
What?
But before we get
Wow.
into any of that,
I don't think all our the listeners are just turned off now after this intro. It's like, well, there's no point listening.
hey, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. So before we get into any of that big, groundbreaking, huge goss, it's the pre-game warm-up. Hey, I just thought of something really unfortunate. That Stinger's void now because Shane McAdam's gone.
it is.
Wait, he can still say cool
I
drinks.
think
He can't
We can't
say
get-
anything anymore.
We can't get rid of the cool drinks. That's one of my favourite Shane McAdam Crows moments.
Yeah.
The drinks aren't as cool now that he's gone.
I think
Well-
unless we get another reference to drinks, I think we're going to have to keep it.
In
from a Crows
context,
player.
it was Hazza who was going to buy the drinks, and we still have Hazza, so
Yeah,
we'll
okay.
keep it in.
Until he gets delisted.
Oh, come on.
No, that was a bit harsh. All right, so Sam has brought the cool drinks. Tell us
Yes.
about them.
Brand new beer from the Suburban Brew, XPA Extra Pacific Ale. This is fairly new for them. I had this when I went to the brewery a few weeks ago, and they had just had it canned, so it's very fresh and it was quite delicious. Pretty easy drinking. It's quite low in percentage, I think. 5.2 actually. It's really not that low, but yeah, that's what we got tonight.
It's nice, tasty.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty
so
good.
far, so good.
Yeah.
Sam?
Yeah.
What do you
Lauren,
guys?
do you have any music?
Yeah, I do.
All right.
I get all my music goss from TikTok now, so everyone's probably heard this if you're on TikTok.
TikTok music is gross.
Chapel Rowan is the name of the artist, and she is from somewhere in the US. That needs a research.
She is a human.
Very modern, cool pop. I actually think you'll like this, Dan. So get on board. This song is called Super Graphic Ultra Modern Girl.
He doesn't have what it takes
Here's
to
some
be
now.
with a girl like me. Not over dramatic. I know what I want. Believe in the planet and you can't come. With all this hype and mega bomber boys like you, I need a super graphic ultra modern girl like me.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know whether to be offended by you saying I'd like that, but
Yeah,
Well,
what the hell was that?
You like Charlie XCX and things like
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
so I thought you might like it. But
I
I
did-
like it.
I didn't mind it, to be honest.
Yeah, you'd.
I
I
Sam.
think you should check out her album. I think you'll like it, Sam.
No, shit.
I know Margot and Violet over there would like it if I
They
played
probably
it for
would,
them.
actually.
Yeah.
Anyway,
For
What
those
did, what
playing-
did Ben think about it, though?
oh, I'd love to
we
hear.
don't normally ask for opinions anymore.
No, we
Yeah, we
don't.
don't. But let's
Well,
do
I
it
think
just today.
Sam's taken over from me. He's a little bit harsher with his criticism.
Yeah, I've never heard
generally,
you
but
say. I've never heard you say that word before.
Yeah, I think I'll go with the stock standard, not up my alley.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair. That's
I can be harsh on Lauren because I know she likes really good music as well.
Mm.
It's just that was no good.
yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to follow in
I
that
feel
trend.
like you're just judging it too harshly, too fast.
Probably.
But anyway, it's
I'm
fine.
going to
You mentioned TikTok and I was off straight away.
Look,
follow.
it's all I do now. Is just scroll TikTok. It's the worst. Dan,
Yes,
you've got a song.
Sorry,
I do
Daniel.
have a song. I do have a song, and it's by Psychedelic Porn Crumpets.
Yeah. They're playing soon, aren't they? With Royal Blood.
Yes.
Oh, your
have you heard of
Yeah,
Psychedelic?
Lauren will be there.
Have you heard of Psychedelic Porn Crumpets?
No.
I mean, the name is enough to sort of really get your attention. And as you can imagine, they are psychedelic. They're from Perth.
My attention, possibly not my respect.
Yeah. Well, we'll see after the song. Now, I've only chosen it for the title, which is Hot Heat Wow Hot, which is exactly what it was last Friday here in Adelaide. So this is the song.
Relevant.
As is usually the case with Psychedelic Porn Crumpets, that song's going everywhere.
Mm.
So, Ben, what do you feel? What are your thoughts and feelings?
Look how far he has to move forward to get to the mic. What the hell?
Well, if I don't have the mic forwards, then I can't read my computer. I have to squint. So,
It's a long way to the top, Sam.
yeah, I think particularly at the start that was closer to up my alley.
Less
I
so
have-
towards the end.
Yeah, maybe. Not sure.
Just it's a wild ride.
Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't mind it.
No,
That was
yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lauren?
I did like it. It's not. I don't really listen to like bands like that, like King Gizzard
Yeah.
and that kind
They're
of
very
stuff.
King Gizzardy.
But I've seen them live and they were so fun, like
Yeah.
super fun. The crowd was really into it, and they're all real nice blokes. So yeah, I rate them. Good,
Yeah,
good
I
band.
haven't seen them live, but I think I might try to at some
I've
point.
seen them twice actually. I saw them at Splendor the first time I went to Splendor, and the crowd were absolutely loving it. They all love that stuff now these days.
Mm. Speaking of music, 3 of us were at Block Party last night. What do we think?
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I know there was sort of some. Lauren could speak for herself.
I think we got there late. And
Yeah,
to
gee,
be
I wonder
fair-
why.
and
I
then-
wonder why,
Oh,
'cause-
please. Thank you.
You didn't want me to speak for you, Lauren?
Can you review it for me?
The venue was absolutely packed, which was great to see. And Hindley Street Music Hall is a great venue, but we ended up right up the back, up on a back mezzanine level, which looked like it.
We were on a podium.
Yeah, a podium at the back.
We literally couldn't have been further from the back.
Yeah.
Unless we were standing on the bar.
Yeah. And because it's such a cool venue, you're not that far away from the band even there, but we were probably in prime position. And the sound, there was a few little sound issues early on, but they were great.
I think I saw the band a total of 4 times through the entire set. I was just looking at the air conditioner above me for most of it.
Yeah.
We were standing sort of on the floor, and I was there with 4 friends, and there was 2 sort of females about your height, Lauren, and this guy of Sam's stature just stood right in front of them.
Yeah, that happens all
He
the
was
time.
like Sam, but like a stocky version of Sam, so he was like blocking even more space.
Yeah, right.
And
Right.
they just moved. So I
Yeah.
lost 2 of my 4 friends that I
Yeah.
was there.
Yeah. If they'd said anything, he would have turned around and done a Sam and said, I'm allowed to stand here.
Yeah, at least he
I
wasn't wearing
paid
it.
for my ticket.
Well, no, I've got some rules there. Like if you're there early and you want to stand like close-ish to the band and you're tall, I think that's fine. It's the ones that crawl through.
Yeah,
like,
he did that.
yeah, which is shit.
Yeah.
So
But,
that's not.
but in his defense, he wasn't wearing an obnoxious hat, so
okay. That's
get asked to move.
like your layaway hat.
Exactly. No one would do that.
No, they wouldn't.
Is this still the pre-game warm-up?
I think so. Yeah.
think it's
You have
done
something
now.
else to add?
And yeah, thanks for the invite, guys.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't think.
Hey
it'd
Ben,
be
you want to come to block party?
Yeah.
Who?
We didn't think it'd be up your alley.
Sam could have
well, you
actually
know.
invited you because he did have a spare ticket.
Yeah,
in
we
the
ended up
end.
having a spare ticket in the
Well,
end.
you
I had a spare ticket too.
I don't know if you
Yeah,
would have
nice.
gotten down to Strath in time.
I
getting
like
worse,
how
isn't it?
you preferred to just not use that ticket.
Dig up, stupid.
Mention it to poor old Ben.
Well, Ben,
Sandy
if it's any
came. Sandy's
consolation,
listening.
it wasn't that great.
It was.
I didn't
it was
think
pretty
it
great.
was.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, as
No,
long
I
as you
enjoyed
guys didn't have a good time, though.
No,
I'm
we had
fine.
bad times.
So,
yeah, Ben.
yeah, good.
It would have been better.
I
with
only
you.
stuck around because I needed Dan to give me a lift home.
As that band said in the 90s, the music sounds better with you, Ben. And that was the pre-game warm-up.
Hi, I'm Chelsea Bedell, and you're listening to the Here We Grow podcast.
All right, so we've got 2 games to talk about yet again. So we've got the West Coast game, the final round 10, up in Perth, where we were out 26-point winners. And we have the bogey team loss on the weekend to Brisbane by 2 points. Let's kick off with the West Coast game in the last round. We rested half the team and probably didn't pump West Coast by as much as we would have expected. Ben, what do you have for us on this game?
Very little. It's not doesn't feel that relevant anymore after losing a final. But we did enough to win. We dropped a lot of players to have a rest. At times we seemed to be troubled by their run and spread on a big open ground, and we were troubled a bit by the cross breeze that seemed to affect our play a little bit. But yeah, we did enough to win. Stats wise, too long ago, not relevant. So
I reckon we'll won't give that game too much airtime
No.
if it's fair. Let's get into some votes. Sam, what have you got?
Yeah, these are very well researched.
That's why I put you on
votes.
first.
Yeah, thanks, mate. It's good. 3 to Marinoff, 2 to Newman, and 1 to McKinnon.
Excellent. Lauren?
I've given 3 votes to Maddie Newman, who kicked one of the more brilliant goals of the season. Absolute fluke goal there with the bounce over the top. Everyone's forgotten already. All right, 2 votes, Ebony Marinoff. 1 vote, Danielle Ponter.
And Ben?
I've
Still
also
typing away.
gone with 3 to Newman, and I do remember that goal, bit of a leggy.
Thank you, Ben.
Yep,
Seeing double
very
with
nice.
those votes.
And yeah, then Marinoff and 1 for Tia Charlton.
That was tactical, me putting that pun in there, because I also went 3 for Maddie Newman, and I didn't want to say seeing triple because it doesn't make sense for anyone who knows the business, seeing double.
Good plug, Dan.
Seamless.
They're going to be giving us cash for that one.
Yeah.
Of course, the business run by Maddie Newman and her sister. Her
Hallie.
twin sister, Hallie. Moving on, 2 votes to Noffy with her 24 disposals and 8 tackles, and 1 vote to Tia Charlton.
Why do we have a week off and it feels like we've forgotten how to do a podcast?
Hey, speak for yourself. Silent. Whatever. What? Soldiers on.
The Soldiers of Silence.
Yeah.
Silent, whatever. It's the Soldiers on Award. Who did you have, Sam?
Tia Charlton.
Very good. Lauren?
I had Hannah Munyard.
Munyed.
Hannah Munyard.
Munyard.
Soldiers on.
They said Munyard a lot on the weekend again.
Munyard.
Sounds like Bunyip. And also, Ben, what did you have?
I had Mick Innan.
Mick Innan, Monty, Eminem. I also had Munyard.
Munyard.
All right, let's move on to the game over the weekend. The one which we lost, which we were not happy about. I felt like in this game we started slow, which we've done a lot against the top teams. We then struggled. You right there, Sam? Bless you.
Yeah, sorry. Oh, that was violent.
Yeah, it was a bit.
I don't know if it came up in the...
Yeah, we wrestled back control of the game and felt like it was on our terms, and then we sort of just put the cue in the rack and tried to save the game rather than win it. By the looks, we went from 5 straight to 5-7 at the end of the game, which is pretty damning. With some of our best forward players really struggling to convert, like Caitlin Gould missing an easy set shot, which she normally nails. Pressure seemed to get to them a fair bit. Brisbane wrestled it back onto their terms by the end of the game, and the rest is history. Ben.
Sure is, Dan. I think the first half we were pretty lucky that we were so efficient in the forward line, and then swapped it around for the back half and lost that efficiency. I think that will probably come up later in social media, but the dropping of Waterhouse, probably the dynamic in the forward line probably wasn't quite there. So we can probably go into that a bit more later. Stats-wise, looking at that, you'd think we've got the win. We won uncontested ball 136-87, contested ball 125-99.
That's huge differences.
We were inside 50, 35-26. We won marks 54-31. The only thing we really lost by a bit was tackles, but we did have a lot more of the ball to be tackled with it. So I think if the North Melbourne game, we were pretty fortunate to get that win. I think the Brisbane game was the complete opposite, where we probably played better but did not get the win.
Noffy came out today and said that we played boring, safe football instead of being bold and brave, which pretty much, it's good to see a player come out and actually call that out, because
We did go down the line, particularly, I think it was more maybe first half, but we got a bit safe down the line, which isn't the way we've been able to score most of our goals this year.
I thought one thing that was quite noticeable was that we seemed to get caught in possession a lot more this week, or certainly under a fair amount of pressure. I think Brisbane did a really nice job at cutting off the passes that we would have wanted to take and normally would have taken. And that just put a few players that maybe don't have the skill level to make their own space really struggle this week. And I think that was really noticeable.
we really heavily relied on a couple of fix-it players. Eloise Jones obviously being one, where she kicked the 4 straight, but then we chucked her in defence to plug the holes as well.
I think you're downplaying Eloise's game there. I know I get your point, but I think Eloise was absolutely crucial in Saturday's game.
Yeah.
She is an absolute gun. We've always known it, but
not
she's
trying
really
to
showing
downplay it. I think it's just disappointing when we had to rely on her in defence when she was obviously so potent up forward. Like, we threw her back in defence to plug the hole.
yeah.
It seemed a bit strange at the time.
It did. And then same thing with Chelsea Randall. Like, we're always using her as a fix-it player as well.
We were probably only 1 goal away from really putting that game away.
Yeah.
And just couldn't
It
do
was that Caitlin Gould one.
Yeah.
The thing that was driving me crazy is that we couldn't get it into Neve Kelly's hands in the first quarter. Like, I think she had 1 disposal or something like that, which was just so infuriating, just knowing that she can get the jets on. Brisbane pressure way too intense. And I did want to shout out to, I'm sure she'll pop up in the votes a little bit, but Sarah Goodwin had what I would call her breakout game for the Crows on the weekend, which was amazing to see, really good.
Yeah, she was great. I think probably more a bit on the negative side, I felt like Sarah Allen got beaten quite a bit in the marking contests, particularly by Dakota Davidson.
Dakota Davidson, what a flog. She is the Dane Zorko of the women's team.
I think
I can't handle
Conway's close.
Yeah, Brisbane women's team are actual grubs.
When Davidson went off at halftime injured, I was like, oh, great, she's off. And then she came back after the half.
But she didn't really actually do much, to be fair.
Yeah.
Like,
She was
she's a bit
pretty
of a
potent
nothing player.
In the first half, she was really good.
She did well getting that 50-metre penalty.
Yeah, good on you, mate.
So we're 8-3 against the Lions. Why?
Yips.
Like, are
Well,
they the only team that
It's 'cause
we've
they're
got
grubs.
a bad record
They
against?
they
Do
play dirty.
you reckon?
Yeah, they do.
Well, the presser after the game from Doc Clark was, last year I think Brisbane were just a better team than us, whereas this year he doesn't feel that as that disparity. We're just as good, but we just still didn't get over the line. So I think last year they were definitely just flying and were probably unlucky to lose to Melbourne, whereas this year they were gettable. But their record this year, they've lost to some weird lower down teams, but they've beaten all of the top teams.
I think they're well coached. Do you reckon?
Yeah.
I think they are quite
Starcevic
well coached.
has been there since the start, so they'd all be pretty clear in what they have to do. And so in big games,
What's surprising
do
for
well.
me is that what you said last time we played them, Ben, is that like they've lost some real talent and they're still able to keep it up. Which
because they lost the whatever the Brownlow's called player,
Yeah.
didn't they? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And Wardlaw.
So they've lost some good, strong players and still been able to beat us both times, which is pretty impressive.
yeah.
Unfortunately.
Oh, I hate you, Brisbane. Hate you.
Any other comments on this game before we get into votes?
No.
We'll talk a little bit about our opponents for this week a bit later in the show, which is Sydney. But we'll kick off the votes with you, Sam. What have you got?
3 to Jones, 2 to Marinoff, 1 to Chelbo.
Nice. Chelbo was huge. Lauren, what have you got?
Similarly, I have 3 for Eloise Jones, 2 for Ebony Marinoff. I've given 1 to Sarah Goodwin because I think she earned it.
Nice. Good call. And Ben, what have you got?
Jones for 3. I've gone with 2 to Hatchard. I thought she was her kick to handball was a bit up and took 8 marks, 5 score involvements, and also 1 vote to Goodwin, 13 intercept possessions, highest for the team.
Nice one. I gave Eloise Jones a clean sweep. I thought she was our most dangerous player, obviously.
So that's a 3-2-1 for her.
Yes. No. Clean sweep across the whole.
All right.
3 votes.
Gotcha.
Thanks, Ben.
What's 2?
I'm getting there. 2 votes for Chelbo with her 17 disposals. I felt like she kept us in the game early on. And I gave 1 to Chelsea Randall, as I mentioned before, a bit of a fix-it player. She got us buzzing at certain times, anytime she went around the ball. And this time it's not the silent achiever.
What is
it's
it, Dan?
the Soldiers on.
Soldier on, soldier on, soldier on.
Samuel L.
Lauren mentioned her, Goodwin.
Very good.
Oh, yeah, stolen that from me.
Nice one.
No.
Goodwin.
Did you pick her too?
Good one.
No, you put her in the votes, didn't you? Oh, you did both.
You didn't
Good.
get the joke.
Good
Oh.
one, Lauren. Good one.
Good one. Oh, got you. Yeah, very
Lauren,
good.
what do you got?
I'm a bit tired.
Yeah. All right. Friend of the pod, Stevie Lee Thompson gets my soldiers on this week.
Very good.
I thought she was actually it was really between her and Goodwin for the 1 vote. I thought Stevie Lee was actually pretty mammoth in her efforts. And solid across the board as usual, Stevie Lee.
Nice. And Ben.
Sam mentioned her before, Bedell.
Very good. And I've gone with Sarah Goodwin, and I just want to say she was brilliant at the coalface, as they say,
That's a Ben thing
on every
at
commentary
the coal
team.
face.
Yeah, that's right. And that's our wrap of the 2 games. Thanks, everyone.
Whoa.
Sweet as.
Not too controversial. I do have something against Sam.
Oh, good.
Are you
Is it
going to
good
say?
or
Are you going to
bad?
say the good in the bad section?
Yeah,
or?
probably. Just real stuff it up again.
This is Sam's thing to lead. I'm giving him notice. It's really up to him how he wants this to run.
He gets carried away and then he forgets.
doesn't he? Yeah.
What is yours? Is it a good or a
I've just
bad?
said something. So that's, I've got
Oi.
to get on to something more about me. So
Shut
I've got
up.
a bit of both.
Are you recording?
Yes.
If you want to know what's in the screen, get into Rowan Jump.
I might just put that in.
Too late.
Good things. I've only got 1, and then Ben thinks he's sneaking in here, apparently. Glenn Maxwell. I know you guys, well, maybe Ben might have watched some cricket, but we need to talk about his innings at the World Cup. It
That was quite an innings.
rather special.
I need to
Coming-
get some food.
Coming in when the Aussies were 7 for 93. And
91, I thought.
was it 91? And scored 201 in a one-dayer, which is just absolutely
And
insane.
after he'd scored 130, he could not move his feet.
Yes. Yeah.
Like
so
he was literally playing every ball with his feet stuck to the ground.
Yeah.
Any single, like there was one single he walked along and then just flopped to the floor like a silly salmon. So,
Silly salmon.
silly salmon.
And well done to Cummins sticking around and just letting him do what he needed to do as well. It was
Yeah,
pretty-
best 12 off 68 balls you'll ever see.
in a one day.
ODI.
Yeah. So that just needed mentioning because that was absolutely special in the world of cricket. Probably the best innings ever in a one day, I bet. Dan,
Wow.
what do you reckon?
Huge. I read the headline and that's about it.
Come on, what do you got?
My good was there. I saw somewhere a photo of Tex playing golf on King Island.
Oh, you've been there?
I have been there.
Is
yep,
this just
for
this whole bit is just so you can tell everyone you've been to King Island and played golf, isn't it?
Where's King Island?
Doing very well for myself. So
Off the top of Tassie.
no, it's between Melbourne and the top of Tasmania. So I think it's slightly closer to Tassie, but yeah. So
Good
it
cheese,
is
hey,
a
Ben?
part of Tassie. Yeah, good cheese, good beef.
Between.
Ah,
So is it
they
in the
have-
water? Or?
What do you reckon?
What's an island? King Island. So,
It's no Kangaroo Island.
so
Yeah, it's no kangaroo island.
no,
All right.
and the bakery has very, very good crayfish pies as well.
Oh,
Crayfish pie.
yum.
Can't do fish in a pie.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah,
you
you
could.
absolutely can.
Have they got
this-
scallop pies there?
That's,
Is that a kangaroo island?
that's more down in the mainland Tasmania than scallop anyway.
I was waiting for it.
Speaking of
I
pies,
wasn't. I didn't know that was coming.
speaking of pies in Tasmania, you would have heard last week I mentioned Glenelg multiple times. I went for a walk down the front and just remembered that there's a
This guy.
random banjos there.
Well, there's a banjos.
There's
yeah,
a
right.
banjos
Oh, there
down,
you go.
which like for people who maybe
You're
only.
a typical Glenelg person. Oh,
I
I
know.
live in Glenelg now, so I say Glenelg all the time.
I know. I'm gonna turn into one
You know
of
where I
those
live?
people.
Glenelg.
Glenelg.
It's not even Glenelg. It's Glenelg North, isn't it?
you.
No.
Yeah, it is.
So-
No,
so-
it is 100%.
It's all Glenelg, Dan.
Yeah, come on, Dan.
So anyway,
It's the same postcode,
It's not
mate.
true Glenelg.
It's not.
the whole point of King Island is
The
the
Bogan
golf.
Glenelg.
I'm still not over
So-
scallop and scallop.
The most spectacular golf experience I've ever had was on King Island. They've got
He's still
Are we
talking
going
about
back to that?
best public access course in Australia down there.
Yeah, it is very pretty. I saw some photos, so no, it's very nice.
Yep.
But
the,
yeah, what's
the 18th, Cape Wickham, you have to hit over a beach, and the beach is a in-play sand dune the entire length of the fairway.
right?
Whoa.
It is pretty spectacular. Very
Cool.
windy. Very you lose a lot of golf balls, but there and Ocean Dunes anywhere else would be seen as amazing, but
right.
you've got Cape Wickham. So
If you want to know what's in
So-
it, sacrificed it up.
what happened is I stood up to the first. Right. Jesus.
He's getting the wind up. He's getting the wind up.
My name's Tim the Wonder Dog.
Haven't felt this attack since Ben's backyard.
Hey, that was Champagne Podcast.
I was encouraging that. I don't know what you're talking about, Ben.
No, it was very good, Ben. But anyway, coming back to banjos, why is there a banjos here?
What is banjo?
Banjos is this shit bakery
It's
chain
a good,
from
good
Tasmania.
place to
What
spend
are
a
you
lot of
guys
money
talking
on
about?
below average baked
Yeah.
goods.
Like,
Is
why
this still
would
your
Is it
segment?
taken over?
Yes.
Has it taken over Brumbies?
it kind of looks like Brumbies?
It's
'cause
a separate
it's-
entity
it's-
to Brumbies, though, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but hasn't Brumbies gone under? Maybe it's taken over the Brumbies.
No, well, it's only one. There's only one, and it's down in on right at the front of Glenelg there.
All right.
Oh, like a Jetty Road on the end of Jetty Road.
Did you get
there.
something from there?
No,
just
I
for
refuse to go in
nostalgia's
there.
sake?
No, not at all. It's terrible. And I don't understand why a shit bakery chain from Tasmania would come to the home of good bakeries in SA.
It's kind of like, why would the Crows get Gauge Roads as a
Yeah,
sponsor?
100%. Yeah, that's a very good analogy.
Maybe they're going to get banjos on board.
Let's hope not. I think that was all I had. Oh, no, I got plenty of bads. Don't worry.
Footwear sacrificed at half price and equipment slashed to half price. Rowan Jarman's huge half price sale. Don't miss it.
I've got a bad. It's Sam almost forgetting his segment was still going.
Well, he was prattling on about King Island for 10 minutes.
Great place to go, guys. Cape Wickham, get it on your bucket list.
Boy. I had this as like a little slick Glenn Maxwell into my bads, and then the bad being that the World Cup is somehow still going. When did this start? It must have been months ago.
It's not going if you didn't pay attention.
Yeah, true.
Well, they do the World Cup how they should do the AFLW, where every team plays each other.
That is true. That is true. But it seems to have gone for like an extraordinary long time.
Are they finished with the minor round now, or is
I
there
think
still
so.
a game
Yeah,
to go?
no, it's done.
Are
Yeah,
the
finished
Netherlands
last
still
night.
the team?
Netherlands
are a team.
Yep, they played India last night, I think.
Have we
Gave
played
up 410 runs.
They're very good. They've been super flat pitches over there because Mitch Marsh scored 177 in that last game.
Yeah.
And they chased down 300 easily. Like, that was pipe dream a few years ago. So anyway,
Oh,
that's
well,
enough
410. No one's getting 400 in an ODI, and now
cricket. Yeah, it's just like
fairly
kind of
stock
normal.
standard.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
Crazy.
Zach Standish, we brought this up before the podcast, just talking down Ponta's goal a little bit on the Crows website. It seemed a bit
We
strange.
just called him out
Come
by
on,
name.
Zach.
Yeah, it's a bit strange, I
Pump
think.
it up, mate.
Yeah,
This
he's
is
sort
a
of-
70-metre roast.
Yeah, I
Yep.
would have.
Put an
Well, do you wanna
exclamation
hear
mark
the-
in your
Yeah, what
article.
did he? Yeah,
Can
go on.
you read it
Description.
out quite robotically, please?
It's
Do
the only,
it-
it's
do
the
it
only
in-
way I talk,
in a
Dan.
m-
So
If you can go any more monotone, do it.
it's tough to go more
It's a
than
big if.
normal. But so, attending a centre bounce in the second quarter, the Mercurial forward won a clearance and quickly sent her team forward. The ball then took a fortunate bounce, clearing a line of players before trickling over the goal line.
There was nothing fortunate about
Come
that
on,
bounce.
Zach. Get the thesaurus out, mate.
Yeah.
You can do better.
Daniel Ponta meant every bounce of that ball.
I would say it had enough momentum to not call it a trickle. by
Yeah,
the
I would have
end.
thought. It went over reasonably easily, didn't
I'd
it?
say it catapulted through.
From what I saw, it
They had to
cleared.
replace that fence because it hit it that hard.
They didn't put in there. She kicked it from the centre and it cleared Caitlin Gould's head and went through the goals.
That was just fortunate, Dan.
Yeah, well,
Speaking of dented footballs, dented fences with the football, we used to, when we lived in Norwood, we lived next to this old Greek lady, and she used to come over and complain that we used to dent the fence with the football because we used to kick the football in the backyard, and like we clearly didn't. Like we're not that good. We can't hit the fence that hard. But she used to annoy us so much that when remember when we had water restrictions. We dobbed her into SA Water and she got a letter and she come running over like, you dobbed me in.
that's so good.
She hated us so much. Anyway, that was pretty funny for us.
Hope she's not a listener, Sam.
Yeah. But she did. She's like did the Greek thing where she watered off her concrete back.
Getting the cement wet.
Yeah, during water restrictions. Yeah. Anyway. More bad things. Ben, your favourite podcast, Sounding Board. Have you noticed that they've gone even more in depth
Was this
in their self-love?
Barrett and Hutchie? I have forgotten about that podcast
Oh, have
for
you?
a while. I don't listen at all.
Oh, really? See,
Purple just got me too much.
I quite like the normal. Quite like the normal podcast, but now your mate Purple has his own separate release about Damo's dish,
Oh.
and he talks through a recipe.
Oh, that's almost like
No one needs
It's
that.
almost like Damo, on the AFLW website. Word from the chief journalist. Blah blah blah. He's got his sliding doors and blah blah blah. So
Who is listening to Damo's dish?
Yeah, I know. It's so weird. I've never listened to that part. I can still listen to the sounding board. I quite enjoy
No.
it because I quite like what Hutchie has to say. Although even Hutchie's got a love-in segment now. He's doing a weekly thing on how to get through the airport quicker. Because
Oh, for God's sake.
I have zero interest in either of those people.
And they were having an argument the other day on who's been more influential in the AFLW between
Damo or Hutchie.
both of them were arguing. Oh yeah, no, between what's her name, the Melbourne Daisy and
Daisy and Aaron Phillips.
yeah, Damo was just like Hutchie was convinced that Daisy's had way more influence and the award should absolutely be called after her, and Purple was on the other side, which was nice. But yeah, it was a weird conversation. I would have thought it's a no-brainer, but.
How about men shut up?
We want to hear more about from Caroline Wilson. About
I mean,
that one.
obviously Daisy was there when they did just Melbourne Bulldogs games, but still,
Yeah,
Phillips, her impact on the actual AFLW would. It's a fair old legacy that beats anyone else's legacy, even if she played for Port.
yeah, exactly. I would have thought.
Damn
But
straight.
damn straight.
Damn.
Anyway, that's all I got.
I've got a bad.
Oh, what do you got?
2 emails I've received from the Adelaide Crows asking me if I would like a digital membership pack or
I got the two as well.
if I would like the traditional members pack. Now, after last year, I didn't end up spending my voucher, so I want the traditional pack this year. Just give me a crappy scarf. I'm all down.
What were the options? Was there options?
This is the problem, Sam. This is why it's bad. Because you click on the link to the email, pick now, and the thing won't load. The page doesn't load. You can't choose the option.
Sounds like you need to delete your cookies, Lauren.
Twice this has happened to me. Did you do it?
Nah.
Have you even tried?
I've lost
Dan's
interest.
had to call
Why are they
IT
sending
a
it-
few times recently. That's what they've told him to do.
Do I even have cookies on a Mac? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But
Oh, I didn't even realise.
I
this
don't
had
know
come
why,
through.
but the email won't work. So please, Adelaide Crows, can you sort that out? Because you've sent it twice now, so you obviously know there's a problem, but it's still happening. The problem's still happening. Ben's got a bad too.
I'm doing this live. I'm going to have a look. Go on, Ben. Off you go.
Okay, so my
Stay tuned,
bad is a
Deborah.
little bit dated, but it is when we played against West Coast. Whoever the male commentator was, I'm not going to work out his name because he couldn't work out our players' names. The Ponta goal where she did the 1-2 play, kept calling her Marinoff
Oh, yeah.
twice. Marinoff, is there anything she can't do? It's like, well, be involved in that play. And then at the end of the game, last tackle, Goodwin gets called Bedell. So
Whoa, that's
Is it Mark Soderstrom?
no,
Was it this week?
No, it was a WA guy.
Don't
Oh,
bring
yeah.
sodas into it.
Well,
Jeez.
that's what I was like. I'm confused because Soda would know.
Soda
Soda would know
wouldn't
the
do
name.
It
So
was Dennis Cometti. He's the only Western Australian.
So it was someone who obviously pays a lot of attention to West Coast Fremantle, but hasn't done a lot of Adelaide research.
God, they got numbers on the Guernseys, people.
I can't find my login details to get into Ticketmaster, so this is failing miserably.
Oh, no.
No good. Also, on the bads, did you notice they released some training kit today with the old logo on it? So obviously not much going on there, which is a bit shit. They were
Well, they
very
probably, yeah, but they
ugly.
probably like manufactured this ages ago, so I wouldn't
Maybe.
stress about that.
Yeah.
I've just got a real quick bad against myself as well.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I'd just like to apologise, Dan. I was a bit dismissive of your lack of mulch knowledge last week.
No. There's no apology needed.
No, it's a bit garden elitist of me. So,
But you were right.
so yes. So have you found out about mulch?
No.
So it's basically placing a layering over the soil to protect it from excessive heat, loss of moisture. Could be straw, could be bark chips, could be rocks, could be anything, organic, inorganic. But it's basically just to keep moisture in the soil and a steady temperature for your plant roots.
And you don't put it on grass.
Well, you don't really want to cover up your grass. The closest you'd get is cutting your lawn and not collecting the clippings, and that's like a natural mulch where it decomposes back down into the soil.
I like that.
How is this a bad? How is this not Ben's backyard?
Well, Ben,
This is, well,
he segued into Ben's back.
I assumed that Ben's backyard, we had that 1 week and then we decided to take a week off. So I thought I'd better get it wherever I can. So,
Play
Never
the,
played the
play
song.
the, play the stinger.
Should we?
Is
Just
there
chuck it
one?
in. You can just
I
put
think
it in.
didn't I just play it off of YouTube?
Oh, you might have actually.
Give me a home among the gum trees with lots of plum trees. A dog or two and a barbecue for flowers down the side and veggies by the fence. All in Ben's backyard. In Ben's backyard.
Are we saying
Cut that
Ben
out.
or-
but sorry, Dan. But if
Just-
we are going for a bit of Ben's backyard, very exciting news. I found a plant that I've been looking for years.
Oh my god!
It's a
Is
very
that the story? Oh,
Oh,
okay.
well, it
go
can
on.
be if you want me to stop there.
I do.
All right. Well, everyone can guess what that plant was.
No.
No, it was a sentimental plant. I remember growing up in Croydon, only 2 or 3 streets away from where you are now.
Mm.
We used to have a small little veggie patch, and always in the veggie patch we had a pineapple sage plant.
Ooh,
Cool.
So it's a salvia related to sage you'd use in cooking, but it does have a pineapple lolly sort of a smell
Oh,
in the leaf. So
very
yeah.
nice.
And really pretty red flower.
Mm.
So how about that, guys?
Oh,
Just
that's
put-
awesome.
when you edit later, Sam, just chuck the Ben's Backyard song in here.
Yeah.
Cut it out of the last episode.
Okay. Yeah.
And very, very quickly, I put in my tomatoes, my cucumbers, and some rock melon yesterday.
Rock melon.
The
For
kids,
those-
kids
Oh
have
my
taken a
God.
taste
Rock
for
melon.
rock melon and they wanted to grow it.
I love rock melon.
For
Really?
those interested in my gardening journey, after killing after killing a carefully curated garden at our last rental over a 7-year period, we've now moved into a place with just simple grass.
And has it only
You've killed
taken a
that
couple
too.
weeks?
And I've
Get the sprinkler on it, Dan.
there's no kikiu there, but I've turned the sprinkler on twice over the week, so that's a pretty good sign
Yeah.
that we mean business this time.
Did you do a short, sharp one or a long,
Long.
deep soak?
Long deep soak?
Excellent.
Well,
and then I was like, how many times do you have to move it? So yeah.
Ben,
I
what
can't-
defines a long, deep soak? Like, how long are we talking here?
Well, where do I start? It really depends on your precipitation rate and the amount of drainage that your soil has, how well it can take that water in. But I would say,
In general, how long am I leaving that sprinkler on?
I'd do it not very
Cuts the
often,
chase.
but 3 to 4 hours.
3 to 4 hours. Okay,
No, I
it's
didn't
probably
do that.
2.
Basically, you want that water to soak down deep into the soil. It encourages your roots to go seeking that water, and it makes them a lot more drought tolerant. You don't have to water it as often, but you water it really long when you do.
I'm on to that tomorrow. All
And,
right.
and I'm waiting to get a little bit more money and update my my sprinkler, actually.
I'm not sure what segment we're doing, but we're going to take a pause there.
No.
Did you say you're saving up to buy a new sprinkler?
Well, I need to get a few of them because it's a large lawn. So
Right.
it's a wobbler sprinkler that has bigger droplets that don't blow
So
in
I'm
the
happy
breeze.
to buy you a sprinkler if you want for Christmas.
A wobbler.
Oh, that's a nice present. Little stocking
Thanks.
stuffer. Little
Well, while you're
sprinkler.
doing
Thanks,
that,
Sam.
I'll have one too.
But to finish off the segment, I think it was at 1990 Crow
Yes.
actually commented he's doing himself a tropical backyard.
You're making a difference, Ben.
So
This is
no,
more-
it was good. No, I like the pictures. It's good to see. Tropical, tough one to do in Adelaide's climate. Dries out a fair bit.
There's
But
absolutely no way anyone's still listening to this episode.
my little tip, Mandevilla, go get one of those. Beautiful time.
Is this why Ben was harassing you about recording because we've missed too many weeks?
Yeah, I
he just
think
really
so.
wanted to get the garden
Yeah,
advice
I'm
in.
pretty
Yeah,
sure.
he's like
Yeah.
he's missing his audience when we have a week off.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
Yep, and
He's
feel
built
free.
up all the content.
Gardens are dying when we have a week
I am
off.
pretty sensitive as well, so any negative comments, I won't talk any more about gardening. But until that happens, I'll just waffle on.
No
It's only been
negativity
positive.
from me, Ben.
Yeah,
Thanks, Lauren.
yeah, yeah.
Just from Sam.
Yes.
Thanks. That was Sam's segment.
And sorry again about the mulch, Dan.
No, you're welcome. I mean,
Get mulched.
Oh my God.
That's not a secret I'll never tell. You know you love me. XOXO. Gossip Girl.
what is the hot goss in football land? Well, everyone,
Dan is so intense about this rumor.
everyone is rumor. There's no rumor.
Oh, it's gossip.
The
Sorry.
gossip. The gossip is a couple of big. It's not. Some people might say this is a slow news week, but Chris Burgess has landed at the Crows. It was in the
Chris
headlines.
Burgess is in the gym.
It was in the headlines at the start of the show, and we're bringing it up again now because there's so much going on with it. He's the saviour, Lord and Saviour of our season next year, as you all know. I know anyone who listens to this show already knows that. But on top of that, the other news is that Ivan,
Soldo.
that one, no,
Not marriage.
Ivan or
Ivan.
Ivan?
Let's say Ivan.
Ivan.
Ivan Soldo from Port has brought his wag to Adelaide, and she had a few choice words to say about Adelaide, which is probably blown out of proportion, but she said it's not forever. What if it is forever?
She said she's heard mixed reviews.
Yeah.
She's
So
heard
have
mixed
I.
reviews.
She's
be
looking
fair.
forward to experiencing Adelaide.
Yeah.
But
for
it's
anyone
not
that
forever.
She's
doesn't
going to be
care about
so
this shit.
bored in Adelaide. Like, there's nothing to do.
Look, I can't remember this woman's name, but I will say this. She is categorically going to be the number one wag in Adelaide. Sorry, Belle Sloan. Sorry, Elle Walker.
Are they going to hate her?
Step aside because you're old and you've got too many children now. This babe's coming in hot, and she's going to be the glam queen of the wags of Adelaide. But obviously, all of the wags of the Crows are beautiful.
Are they?
Like, yeah, of course they are.
Even the ones you said that were too old.
Yes. Well, they're the mecca. That's what Ivan's girlfriend wants to be. Is a Belle Sloan or an Ellie Walker. That's what she's aiming for.
Well, by the
really.
looks of things, she can just make herself into one of them. But, yeah.
Oh, I forgot my bad. I forgot my key bad. Can I slot it in
no.
here? No, they're talking about the families. Just reminded me. This
Oh,
might
I'm
be.
sorry, I can't allow us something to go in where it's
Well, you
not
can
the
talk
actual
about-
segment. Sam.
You can put in a little bit more of your grass talk after
Yeah.
this.
So this might be controversial, but do we overuse the Tex and Rory Sloan kids in our social media?
yes.
I don't think it's right. They are on there so often.
It's just
like
every
it's
time.
the laziest social media content. It's
every
worse than the gym content.
I've seen.
Well, they're in the gym. It's the double whammy.
No, this is the point. I messaged you guys last week because I was like, all I saw pop up on Twitter is Tex has a little bit of extra help in the gym today. And I was like, I know what this is going to be.
Yeah.
It's not going to be one of the players spotting him. It's going to be his kid.
Yeah.
And it was.
Yeah.
Look, we Flyers won.
I'm sick of it.
It's all about
I'm
families.
putting it on record.
This
Haven't you
time-
guys realised that the Crows are all about families? I am the odd one out. You guys all have kids. You're about to have a kid. I've got no kids. Guess what? The Crows don't give a shit about me.
This time next year, Sam's going to be, how cute are those kids?
No.
Because you'll be relating to it. You'll be all
No, he's
about
got kids and he said it's shit too.
all our goods and bads will be about, bads when they do a stinky poo. Goods when they smile for the first time.
And then you'll bring your kid to the first game and you'll be like,
Yeah.
bad. The Adelaide Oval is crap for prams.
We just bought a pram this week. That's an interesting experience.
Is that, get a mortgage for that one?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Went to a pram convention of sorts because they don't sell them here. So we had to go to a hotel on South Terrace to go and have a look at prams.
What, Ridges?
Nah, it was one down the
South
road.
Park.
Yeah.
I think you've changed already, Sam.
Oh, it's terrible.
So that's a
I don't
double
like
whammy.
this world at all.
A double whammy of Crow's social media content for you, Sam. Kids and weight sessions.
Yeah, no good.
Well, that was just a segment full of kindness, wasn't it?
That's what gossip's about, Ben.
Oh, shit. How much am I going to have to cut out of that? I'll just leave it all. What were we
Social
talking-
media.
Oh, Mackesy. We got
yeah.
Mackesy was on SEN this week talking about his departure from the Crows, saying that without saying it, reading between the lines, obviously he looked very disappointed on draft night, and I think he pretty much locked that in as that's exactly how he was feeling. Wasn't maybe too keen about moving away from family at that age that he was at. Said he has no hard feelings against the Crows, and when he left, he actually had quite a lot of fun playing in the Sandful in that last year that he was here, where he pretty much played all year in the Sandful. But he has absolutely left the door open. It sounds like he's going to be back playing footy next year at some level. Obviously not AFL, but at some level with a hope to come back. He's still only 22, so
Outside looking in, it's hard not to wonder how the Crows got that so wrong.
Yeah.
Given that everyone who's anyone could see his bad body language on the night of the draft. Didn't they speak to him before and get that same vibe?
You would have thought so.
I feel like he, when you're in that position, it's like, okay, well, you know what's going to happen. You might be going away, you might be moving interstate. You kind of probably accept that. And obviously he was clearly not too thrilled about it, but at the same time, he did say in the interview, he kind of thought, okay, well, it's just a new opportunity for me. But he clearly wasn't ready to move away from home.
No.
And I feel like he shouldn't have even gone in the draft if he wasn't ready for that.
No.
Again, that was probably a thing he realised in hindsight. So, you know.
But why don't you just act like all those other sookie Victorians and just tell the clubs that you don't want to go anywhere? If that's how you feel, you should...
Maybe it's a little bit amicable.
It was pretty
that he
frowned
didn't.
upon back when he was drafted, though, to do that.
Yeah. Oh, well,
I mean,
players
it
have
still
been doing
is,
it.
but they still do it. But,
Yeah.
Well,
it's done.
he might have been
You're not
instructed
meant
not
to do it
to.
at all. Yeah.
His manager might have been like,
It
just
was
shut
around
up
the
and
same
go
time
where
as
you,
Bailey Smith,
wherever.
wasn't it?
Yeah. And
Bailey
he
Smith
did
and
it.
Archie
Archie
Perkins.
Perkins, yeah.
But he might have felt more confident about it, but then he did have, his dad had health issues as well, which might have been that step too far where he thought, I can do this, and then that came around, and then it's just,
Also,
not
he wouldn't have,
coping.
it was it during COVID as well. He wouldn't have been able to go visit his family that whole time, which would have been really hard for someone so young.
Just for the record, I completely blame the club for
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
I
was
don't
just
actually
about
blame
to-
him at all.
I was about to say the same thing.
Yeah. It was absolutely shit-house pick, and I think it's shown, it's absolutely proven that it was. We should have, there should have been way more due diligence done there. If he wasn't saying it, we should have found a way to get it out of him. It was a poor pick anyway. Full stop.
Well, it's ancient history now.
I was just about to say one last thing on that, just to add to the shit show that it was, maybe the fact we played him in 10 games in that first year was we're going to play you to show you the faith that, that we got the pick right. And then they screwed it up even more because they made him baptism of fire type thing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So
Absolutely. He got torched in those games.
He really did.
Yeah. All right.
Out of bounds on the full.
Out of bounds on the full, indeed. It's social media. Welcome. We have a few comments. Sam, what have you got?
No, there's nothing on Instagram. Sorry.
Oh, what? All right, I've got
nothing.
a few tweets. Ben predicted this might come up in this segment. Waterhouse's exclusion might have cost us a spot in the prelim. Bring her back. Unfashionable but effective. She's smart and creative. Reinstate the mullet at once.
Agree.
I actually agree with this wholeheartedly, and I was actually pretty disappointed for Jess that she didn't crack her way back into the side. Nothing against our hard nut Rochelle Martin, who we love and was instrumental, I thought, on the weekend. She went really hard at it, but there's just something about Waterhouse's ability to read the footy and see the space on the ground in the forward line, which,
she's a creator.
incites a bit of magic, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I'd actually still retain Martin myself. I think she still brings something. The player I'd look at Waterhouse for would probably be Yvonne Bonner, I think. So
Yes.
Yeah, that's fair.
she gets to dangerous positions and she gets to the ball a lot, but I just think with using the ball at the moment, she's not really executing or is not as creative as someone like a Waterhouse would be.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Waterhouse also provides a lot more pressure in our forward.
Having
half, so.
said that about Rochelle Martin, she was definitely one that I would have put in my bracket of deer in headlights shit on the weekend, though. She was definitely getting caught a lot more than maybe she should have been.
Agree.
Well, Dylan C has a response to that. Was the perfect storm, really. Martin was poor, Gould was poor, Ponta was poor. They won't all play that badly again. I'd be picking Waterhouse, though.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say they were poor. I'd say
they probably were.
they were outplayed.
I think I love Caitlin Gould, obviously, but I think she had one of her worst games of the year.
It was a bad game for Gould, I'll give you that. I wouldn't say Ponta was bad because she
Ponta
got a
was
few
okay,
clearances.
Yeah, she got a lot of the ball, but just
In
wasn't
terms of
as
goals,
effective.
yeah. It was a bad game for the Crows. Jeddy. All right, here we go.
Hey,
Jeddy's
Jeddy.
got a few. AFL has rose-coloured glasses on regarding Norwood. Many things shit.
Agree.
Now, she did use the poo emoji for that, but I'm just going to say it how it is. Excuse me, burping from the beer. If true regarding our favourable draw because of that non-goal, it just exemplifies how corrupt the league is. Happy to accept, but really? Now, in terms of favourable draw, there has been some fixtures released for the Northern Territory games, and the Crows will not be playing in Darwin this year.
Funny that.
This
What about
season
Ballarat?
coming? Well, we don't know that yet.
Thank you
'cause
to
we
the
are yet
goal
to
that
see
was
the
not.
fixture.
That's going to be a joke for
Um,
anything that goes positive
Yeah,
for us.
anything positive next year, it's like, oh, well, this is
Yeah.
payback for this,
Yeah,
or
that's
blah, blah,
it.
blah, as opposed to you just get a decent fixture
Yeah.
instead of just being screwed.
That
every
doesn't
year.
happen to the Crows, man.
It's so grumpy.
And Jetty finishes that tweet with Waterhouse for Martin, no brainer. Perhaps Tonin still hasn't played in a losing game.
Whew. That's a good sign.
JD, the booty whisperer.
Is that their name?
Yep. Really feel like 2 out of the last 3 games, our midfield has been touched up. I think Hatchard has been quite poor defensively, against Roos especially.
Lauren would agree with that.
Noffy was always
Hates Hatchard.
Noffy was always having to leave her opponent and chase after Hatchard's opponent while Hatchard stood still and watched.
Oh, that's damning.
I think
Can't say I've
Hatchard
ever
has
seen
been pretty
Hatchie
flat
stand
this year.
still, but
I
she
think she's
hasn't
had
been
a-
her best.
She wouldn't have a lot of votes in our voting.
She wouldn't be
this
as
year, I
high
wouldn't
as
have thought.
previous, no.
No.
I definitely think
Not that we know what we're talking about, but
Noffy has had the standout season out of the two of them
100%,
this year.
yeah.
This year for sure.
Yeah.
Just on Jetty's fixture thing, we didn't talk about Gather Round and the announcement. Now, is that the worst round of football you've ever seen in your life? Or
yeah, well, they've clearly gone, all right, we know we're going to sell this shit out anyway. Let's just put all the crap fixtures on.
Well, the Crows Melbourne games are right, they.
oh yeah, well obviously any Crows game's fine.
Yeah.
Like,
But that's the thing is like they're gonna sell them out. There's what is there Brisbane and
Port and Essendon or
Geelong.
something.
Yeah,
Jeez.
I thought it was interesting that they didn't pull up Crows versus Carlton for that Thursday night because that was a pretty great opening round of footy. Felt like that could have
yeah.
been a standalone
Carlton-
Thursday night matchup for the Gather Round.
yeah. But I think they worked out that if Carlton plays another team,
Yeah,
in
'cause Carlton have a
Adelaide, they get-
massive following.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know I can't remember who they are actually playing, but
But
Yeah.
don't you think it is quite hilarious that we've just had this whole like trade beef with Melbourne and now that's going to be the game?
Yeah. They love those kind of matchups.
yeah, that's
They
it.
love the drama,
Yeah.
They'll be able to focus on petty.
the
Yeah.
petty drama.
Yeah,
Goody will have like a good 4 days in Adelaide to get Yeah, I won't go on with that.
He'll sell another jumper to fund it.
Yeah.
Do you want to go stalk the poker tables
Allegedly.
after the game?
Yeah,
Just go-
he'll be running him.
Allegedly, Lauren.
Oh, I said stalk, didn't say he'd be there.
Do you think he does gambling in person? I don't think so.
No,
What is he doing? Online poker?
imagine with crypto.
Lauren, do you have any more? Do you have any more social media? Because I've got something hot off the press, which I just feel like needs to be shared.
I don't
Is
know.
it Chris Burgess updates?
It's no, not this time. This is off topic of the Crows, actually. Dean, the Essendon Nuff friend of the pod, has just sent me this article, which I feel is just screaming out to be read word for word almost. The headline is, "The place is shit hot. AFL icon Warwick Capper's dizzy career takes a new twist." This is dizzy stuff, folks. Footy icon Warwick Capper's rollercoaster career has taken another twist, with the former high flyer taking ownership of the Westminster Secrets brothel in Oakley in Melbourne Southeast. The move comes as Victoria gradually decriminalises sex work, declaring it is real work, first adding anti-discrimination protections for sex workers and repealing offences for those in the industry in 2022 before, on December 1, repealing several past acts.
Well, I'm glad Warwick Capper, the man who once told me at the Stag Hotel that I had nice cans, is getting in on that.
Well, just a couple of quotes from him. "The secret's out. Warwick's back in town for all your needs," he told them.
Is he going to be working too?
Is Warwick not employing other people?
He goes on, "Bit like McDonald's. Let's have a Big Mac, one with the lot. Tell him Wizard Kappa sent you with the new teeth and the tight shorts."
Does Kappa have a? Does Warwick have an OnlyFans?
Oh, could you imagine?
He probably does.
Yeah, maybe.
Yikes!
Yeah. Oh wait, I've got some great ads and promos lined up where I'm dressed as a pimp daddy.
Well, I hope I
so
can
good.
Google that later
Yeah.
for the slides. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Wait, it still goes on. "The place is shit hot. It's been refurbished and has a pole which I will make great use of, and a spa. It's great. I'll be bringing all my sports mates here who I know like to frequent such places. There will be a long line out the door. Just you wait and see."
Wow.
Who were
Well, I
his
can't
sports
wait to
mates?
see who's in the line.
Sam Newman,
Yes,
Oh
Sam
my
Newman will be
gosh, that's hilarious.
the Cheshire Cat. Sam Newman, he'll be there. All right, that's social
there.
media.
Anything to add, Ben?
Ricky Nixon would be.
Oh, toot toot.
Oh no!
Yeah,
The chicken.
absolutely. The chicken. The chicken. Oh, so good.
Yes, well, that's social media. Let's wrap this show up. This week we play Sydney on Saturday night. Ben, do you have any Sydney stats?
How's our history against Sydney, Ben?
Well, undefeated, Sam.
The best history we can have.
Sydney started this season pretty slow, but they've won their last 4 in a row, albeit that not against a remarkably good teams, but they still, you can only beat who you play. They have not beaten any of the teams that are still in the finals yet this season. So on paper, they look like the weakest of the remaining teams. That doesn't always go to the actual game, but surely if we can play to our strengths, we can beat them. Players of theirs to be wary of is Chloe Malloy, ex-Collingwood player, big forward, can kick goals, and Laura Gardner, who I think she came from Geelong. Really good pick in AFLW fantasy, I'm sure you would all agree. Picked as a forward, plays as a midfielder, fantastic choice.
Well done, Ben.
So anyway, they beat Gold Coast, similar to how we like to play, more uncontested possession, lots of marks, but surely we can stop that, and we are going to hopefully win by 27.
I think Lauren's fallen asleep.
Oh, Ben's
I want
picked
the
us.
nod.
If Lauren, you missed it, Ben picked us by 27 points. What's your
I got
vote?
it. I was listening. My eyes are open.
What do you think is going to happen?
I think it'll be a close game. Actually, I think Sydney are gonna they're gonna really come out fighting. I reckon, and I think we're only gonna win by 15 points.
Ooh, Sam.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same.
Oh.
I'll be tight.
All right. Well, I also think the same, but I think I actually think that it will go fairly similar. I reckon Sydney will have a big crack at the start. We'll rein it in like we have against the last few top teams, But this time we'll go on with it because we've learnt our lesson and we'll win by 24 points.
Alrighty.
That is all.
And just very,
yes,
very
good, Ben.
briefly, talking of putting things not in a segment. AFL Fantasy, we did have our grand final.
I thought we already discussed this.
Yeah, that's because
That
I
was
fucked
the
up
lead up
last
to
week.
lead up to the grand
Well, I
final.
actually thought it was over last week.
It's been over for me for about 6 weeks.
So
Hence why I thought it was over.
we'll all remember Collective Mids was in the grand final for
Yeah,
our
we
men's
do.
comp as well.
And won, as far as I remember.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty sure.
Do I have to
Continue
go
it.
through the
No,
self-congratulatory
continue. No,
stuff?
I'm pretty sure.
Once again, Ben,
wait,
the Premier 2024 AFL Men's.
deja vu. I swear you told us Collective Mids won the premiership for the women's already.
No, he was in the grand final
yeah.
against Slapey Snags.
Yeah, no, I said that.
And
'Cause I
unluckily enough, he lost another grand final.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Sorry, Hendo.
Slapey Snags had a big round. 16-64 plays 15-11. So it wasn't
Slopey Snags, show yourself. Who are you?
What's his name? I'm assuming it's a he.
Cameron S.
Yeah, right. Okay.
And he did fittingly finish as the highest ranked player in our league as well, Slapey. So he came home very strongly.
What, even higher than you?
Yep.
Wowee.
Yep.
Cameron S, did you say?
Yeah.
So we can guess his last name is Slape.
Oh, yeah, probably.
We could,
Wow,
we
that-
could guess that.
Sherlock Holmes.
Detective
Move over.
So now, just a little side note is that there is actually. I'm just going to put. This is more sleuth work. I know you've been waiting.
Here we go.
But his last name
Clues.
is his last name is Slape. Now, hear me out here. Hear me out. Slape. Now, Slape is also a small goods. Slape is also a small goods company that sells sausages.
Yeah, they're good.
His team name is Slapey Snags.
Oh.
So it might not just be. It might be a
Is he
double
the
meaning.
Slape?
He could be.
Is he the
Slape.
man?
Have we got a famous small goods company playing on our AFL fantasy team?
Does Slapies do the
Therefore,
chicken patties?
Maybe also listening to our podcast, Slape and Sons. He's one of the sons of Slape because
That's a good band name, Dan.
he's not only called Slapey Snags. That could be a double meaning for goals and sausages. Anyway, thanks for listening to Here We Crow, episode 77. Thank you, Ben.
Thanks, Dan. Pretty
Thanks,
solid.
Lauren.
Yeah, thanks.
I think I know who it is.
Thank you, Sam.
I think I know who it is.
Is he related to Slapey?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Is he a
I
sausage
didn't
guy?
realise he listened to us, and if he does, then
We want free sausages, thanks.
yeah. Sorry, Cameron. I know who you are now. I didn't realise that was your last name. If you're listening
You
to
didn't
this.
realise he was sausage royalty?
No, he's not. I don't think he is. He lives down in.
You just
near
told
Mount-
me he was a
No,
second ago.
no, I
You're
know
not
who he
listening?
was.
You know he is Slape.
No, I know him.
Okay, Dan, put it to
So,
Slape.
so you're pretty sure he's not sausage related?
He's not sausage related. He's from
Okay,
down.
well, you've just
unless-
broken my heart.
Unless
You have to get your meat.
He's
and
from the
sausages from
southeast.
somewhere else. Dan.
Severus Slape. All right, let's move on.
Oh my god.
Good night, everybody. Thank you for joining us on Here We Crow episode.
Oh, what do we think
77.
about the beer?
Oh, yeah.
It was nice.
I was wrapping up, Sam.
You have to do it again now.
Sam bought us Suburban Brews XPA, and it was good.
Yeah, it's pretty tasty, wasn't it?
It was
A little bit.
nice.
Yeah, a little bit thin.
And
maybe
obviously, it would be remiss of us not to mention that Monday next week is the draft.
Yes, thank you. We'll be
Yes.
back for a Monday night episode next week. We might have a special guest if he can come on.
Yeah, also, I don't know if we can, but we might do it live.
Yeah, we're going to do it live.
Well, that's
No, as
dangerous.
in like we might stream it live.
Oh, yeah, let's do it.
I don't know how, but
We
we'll
can do
figure it out.
We're playing with
We
fire.
can do that.
Technology and fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone lend us a 360 camera
Oh,
so you can see
I
us
bought,
all.
I bought a not a 360 one, but I bought like a little GoPro thing the other day, so we can use that.
I'll strap it
Wowza.
onto me and we can just watch you guys.
Please never say that again.